it's here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The season is finally here. It is spooky season. I cannot wait. I absolutely thrive during the fall time. We get to September and almost up towards November, it's like I continuously read the spoopy books. Spoopy or spooky? Both. Hey y'all, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about fall, and I really think I do more of my reading during fall just because I get that motivation. I mean, you pair being cold outside and having blankets and a fireplace, it just really does something for me in my reading mood. I'm going to be telling you guys about a couple of books, and when I say a couple, I really mean a lot. It's a problem, I admit it, and that's the first step. So I'm going to go through the first set of books, which I don't have in my possession yet. I will be either going through my library to get them, or I will be reading them on Kindle Unlimited just because I need to cut down on clutter. And then the second portion is going to be my actual physical books that I have laying around the house that I really need to get through. So without further ado, let's get into it. I said a while back that I'm trying to diversify my reading and include authors of color. A lot of these books are either by author of color or they're marginalized authors. The first book that I want to get to is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. If you haven't heard about this, I don't know how. If you're a spooky bitch like me, you're gonna know about this book. So this book is about a woman slash girl teenager who lives in this town that is super religious, and they shun witchcraft of all sorts, and they believe that any magic is just bad news bears. Throughout this book, our main character figures out that her mother actually sought sanctuary into the woods where there are known to be witches. That's really all I want to know about it. I don't want to get too much into it because I like the element of surprise. So I'm super excited about that. This is an author of color, and it's exciting. The next book I want to talk about is Mexican Gothic, and that is by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is about a chick who gets a letter from her cousin to come to Mexico because her cousin fears that her life is in danger and there's this evil entity trying to get her. So she goes and does this kind of detective like sleuthing slash scary spoopy stuff. I'm here for it all the way. The next book I want to read is Terror Mountain, and that is by Gerry Griffiths. This is about people who inherit this farmland, this family who inherits this farmland in the mountains, and they unfortunately notice that there are mutilated body parts around the town, and they're trying to figure out what the heck it is. Another book that I'm really interested in getting into is The Good House by Tananarive. I just practiced saying her name. Like, I don't know why I'm having issues. Tananarive. That's how you say it. This is a author of color, and she has this book that is about this woman who, her son, this is a trigger warning, her son commits suicide in this house. So she is trying to build her law firm back up, and she goes to visit this house just to kind of get closure, and finds out that something is going on with the house. The house is messed up. It's haunted in per se, and things are happening in the town that are making the townspeople violent. So if you're not interested in that, if you're not interested in good spooky houses that scared the wits out of you. I don't know who are you exactly? I don't understand. I'm not computing. I cannot wait to get my hands on this one. It is called Halloween Season by Lucy A. Snyder. It is a collection of short stories about just the season of Halloween. Not necessarily scary per se, but just how for some people this season is all about honoring the dead and respecting them and celebrating them, while also there is the ability to put on a mask. You can be a cowboy, you can be an alien, you can be an elf, and how that empowers you. So like I said, it's just short stories, and I need it right now. Hold on. I'm drinking pumpkin spice coffee. That's how ready I am. It's September. But I'm not mad about it. I just need the book in my hands. Another one is The Ghost Bride by Yangsze Choo. I hope I'm saying that right. I looked up how to pronounce her name too, and I feel like I'm just butchering it. The Ghost Bride is basically what it sounds like. It is about a woman who is contacted by this royal family or this upper class family, and they want to take care of her for the rest of her life. She will be fed, she will have a roof over her head, she will have everything taken care of, but she has to marry their dead son, who they feel like is not moving on because he was never presented a wife. He never had that ability to get married. And the story is about this woman just going through everything with dealing with an undead husband, and then also falling in love with another person of the family, and it causing issues. This is also by an author of color. I have never heard of her before, but I've seen really good reviews about this book, so I'm super excited to read this. Another book is White is for Witching by Helen Oyeyemi. White is for Witching is about a family who has lost their mother and are trying to move on, and they are living in the same house that the wife or mother died. And she has left behind 2 twins and a husband, and I think that's it. But one of the twins is starting to see that this is a recurrent thing, that there are women of the house that are undead, and she is seeing them, and she eats chalk for some reason. And that's really all I know about that book. I really like the creepy house factor and just seeing how these characters are coping with the death of a loved one and also spooky shit happening. Now on to the physical books that I have. We're going to start with The Fifth Doll by Charlie N. Holmberg. This is about a teenager who is in an arranged marriage in this isolated town, and she goes to this tradesman's house to do something. I don't know. She finds this really weird collection of nesting dolls that is painted and resembles people of the town, and she is taken in to be an apprentice and to be responsible for these dolls. But her father starts acting strange because she opens one of the nesting dolls. So there must be a connection between the nesting dolls and the townspeople, I'm assuming. The next book I want to talk about is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This is about a woman and her son who are fleeing from an abusive relationship, and they come across this town and they decide to settle down. But the 7-year-old son is missing in the woods, and he is gone for, I believe, about 7 days. And when he comes back, he's unharmed, but he comes back with an imaginary friend or a voice in his head that tells him to do things. And if he doesn't do those things, then bad things are gonna happen. I can't wait for this one. It is all about vampires and it has a book club in it, so of course I'm going to love it. But this is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and this is exactly what I just said. It's about a woman who is married and frankly she's just kind of bored. She's bored with her life. Her kids are teenagers and they have their own thing going, and her husband's a workaholic. So she really thrives within her book club, and all of a sudden she meets this mystery man who is too good to be true, and turns out that he might be a vampire from what I'm guessing. Now this one's a thriller, and I think the majority of some of these are thrillers, or they're just got a little bit of a spook factor. But this is The Chain by Adrian McKinty. This was so cool. I've already read it actually because I'm an impatient bitch, but whatever. So this is about a woman who is a cancer survivor, and she drops her teenage daughter off at the bus stop to go to school, and then she's heading to her doctor's appointment it's just a checkup. But she gets this anonymous call that her daughter has been kidnapped, and if she doesn't play along, that her daughter will be murdered. And essentially what this is really about, if you don't remember, those chain letters that you would get is, if you didn't send this on, something bad was going to happen. And that's essentially what this is about. It's where this company or this entity called The Chain, they make parents kidnap other people's kids, and they have to pay a ransom, and then the people who were chosen for the kidnapping, have to continue the chain. And if not, then everybody dies. If you're looking for, a dip in the thriller genre, I would definitely recommend this because it is a really quick read. It's got very short chapters and you just really fly through it. So it's something to kind of just dabble into if you're interested in getting into the thriller genre. Another anticipated read that I'm ready for is The Chestnut Man, and that is by Soren Sveistrup. It's bad. I'm bad. This is about a psychopath who goes around killing people, and his calling card is a doll made of matchsticks and 2 chestnuts, and it's kind of about basically figuring out who this person is and the connections it has to some of the characters. Baby Teeth is another one that I'm looking forward to reading this fall. This is, I don't know why I have a theme of creepy children or children getting kidnapped. I have no idea why, but it's terrifying to me in real life. We'll see how I think about it, but this is about a stay-at-home mother who is trying to connect with her 7-year-old, but since the 7-year-old's birth, the mother has never felt a really true connection, and she's always felt like her daughter is a very evil being and only shows that she's evil to her mother and only does evil acts to her mother, while with other people she acts like a normal, sweet child. Last but not least, I have The Bone Witch by Chupeco. This is an author of color. I have heard a lot about this from Cheyenne the Book Mermaid, and I really enjoy it. I will link down her channel down below. But this is about a bone witch who is trying to master her elemental magic. It is one of the most powerful elemental magics in this world, and while she is going through that and learning how to use this to her best ability, the kingdom that she is in turns to war, and that's basically all I know about it. I lied. There's like 2 more books that I forgot. This is My Lovely Wife, and it is by Samantha Downing. It's basically about a married couple that gets bored and they start killing people. There's not much to it. Now, during the fall season, I really like to dive into criminal psychology and true crime. I was a psychology major when I went to college, and that's just something that's always really stuck with me. So I bought this, and this is Serial Killers and Psychopaths by Charlotte Greig and John Marlowe. This has got your basic stuff. It's got Ted Bundy, it's got Aileen Wuornos, it's got, who else? Probably John Wayne Gacy, all your typical real life nonfiction sickos, basically. I wouldn't say it's an encyclopedia, but it's a really similar, I guess, to an encyclopedia. And I don't know, I'm just geeking out over it. I mean, I think it's so interesting. I've been listening to a ton of podcasts, true crime podcasts, and even some YouTube videos that are about true crime. So if that's something you're into, definitely pick up this book because so far it's really good. I like it. That is the end of this spooky book anticipated reads. I mean, I have read only a couple of these and I need to get these off of my TBR shelf. So I will let you guys know what I think, and hopefully I'll have a couple of 5 stars, a couple of 4 stars, hopefully no 1 stars. We'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this far along, put a ghost emoji into the comments and let me know what are some spooky or fall type of books that you are ready to read. And don't forget to like and subscribe because that helps me out a bunch. All right, stay spooky, guys. See y'all later. Bye.